Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Matt Capper and this is, you guessed it, another video on Watcher of Realms. Today we are going through the Trial of the Piercers, which could arguably be the easiest of the bunch. We got stage 12 here, the conditions for it, clear it, with soul core intact, and no hero killed. Very important, do not allow heroes to get killed, and that is why it is so important to put together a certain style of team. This is the team we're going with. There are many different options and we'll talk about them as we go through this, but the most important to have is a healer. Nasande does the trick nicely, and then you've got to have one of the lords. You've got to have Lunaria or Araka. We don't actually place her or don't need to place her, so keep that in mind. We do want a defender. We actually want two defenders, but in this case, we're going to use Absen as a defender. You want two high-quality single-target nukers, and you want an AoE nuke. Alora is a special case, and I'm going to show you why she's a special case. And then Sargak, we're using. You don't have to use them. Plenty of champions you can use in Esma. You could probably absolutely use for nuking Brienne. Both of these champions have an AoE quality to them. Calypso is another big one. Razak. There's a lot of different champions in this group that are going to work very well for you. I would suspect, though I haven't certainly tried, Tazira could even work in this setting. This is overall pretty easy. It's really just DPS check. So there aren't too many places that mess you up other than needing that Lord bonus. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put Absen on this top row. Don't worry about this one here. Not a concern right now. The first thing we got to deal with is 3 of the little critters are going to come through, which is why you may have noticed Absen has a Lunacy Visor, and that allows him to block 3. Now we're going to bring in Sargak. Does it have to be Sargak? No, it can be anyone. But we're going to put someone here to do a DPS on these ones. If you're using multiple AoE, that's fine. You could use like Razak here, that sort of thing. The important one, this is one of the key emplacements, is Nasande here facing across. That's going to allow her to heal both tank locations and overall be able to keep everyone alive on the field that you're going to be placing. You also notice why it's important to have 3 here is because you can potentially, depending on your DPS, have to actually tank some of this damage right here. So just keep that in mind. Third one we're going to put down is we're going to put down Nyx up top. This is your AoE DPS, and this is just to assist. There's going to be 6 of those little scorpions coming down, and if you can do a little bit of damage before they get here, then you're not going to run the risk of them overwhelming Absen and getting through. So that's why we have Nyx there. We're going to put Silas right here. Silas is going to deal with the low DPS. He's going to deal with these tanks that come through. Very important, as you'll see. And then we're going to put down Hex, who's going to be the DPS for the tanks that'll come through this top portal. As you can see, having Nyx, I'm not going to use her ult here. Instead, we're going to hope and pray that we get some proper DPS here. We're going to add some DPS here just for safety's sake. So as long as they don't get through, we should be fine. Now you see here's the first tank coming through. And we're going to put Livian down right here. And she's going to be our second tank. And we can now pop Silas, and he'll just get rid of him in pretty short order. And then you can see up top, you've got Hex, and he's going to do the same. Let them both come out. Once you see the timers above, now I'm going to pop his ult. He's going to take care of business. Now, you saw I did not use Nyx's ult on the earlier waves, and there's a very important reason for that, and that's these suckers right here. As soon as you see them, that's where Nyx's going to go. You do not want these guys to get near you. They do explode, and if they explode, they kill your champions. If you don't have an AoE that can just inherently get rid of them, that's where someone like your Idril comes into play, because she can help kill them. Just make sure you're timing it right. But no matter how, you have to clear these ones before they get to your champions, or they are going to cause havoc. I don't care how you do it. You could probably use Sargak, and because he's not getting healed up here, but he won't take any damage, he can get pretty fast damage out and about. Now we have 2 tanks here. That's fine. He's going to do more than enough damage. What I can do is I can drop this, and I can also use her here, because she's going to be invisible. Now, this spot is actually a dead tile per se, because the boss will actually put a spider web on that champion, and you just have to be aware of that when putting a tile there. But because she's invisible, it's actually not going to be a problem. She's going to be able to deal with it. We're going to pop Silas's ult, and then he's going to clear these two. This is why we put Livian in this spot, because she's going to actually have to tank damage, and she can do it pretty freaking good. She's not barely taking any damage at all. Absen, not quite the same. So we're going to watch now for Hex's ult here. He's going to need to be able to ult as soon as it's up and available. Probably he's safe, but just in case, again, I don't need her, so we're going to take her off the field. I'll probably put Idril back down just to be safe. Now you see Nyx's ult is up, and as soon as she's able to hit them, you're going to want to pop her ult to, again, get rid of this. Now there's 6 of them, so this is what makes her so impactful, is look at the amount of damage she can do in the whole group. She's going to clear that group pretty much single-handedly, and that's exactly what you want. You don't want any guesswork. And she's also going to be able to help with some of these scorpions that are going to come down and try to sneak their way through. We can put Idril back down to assist with this. We can actually pop Sargak's ult as well. You see we have 10 enemies left. They're going down very quick and efficiently now. If you're absent, that can't quite take that kind of beef damage. Now you see there's a little bit of a problem here. We do have a spider web on. So as soon as he's able to, and we're able to put down, we're going to pop Idril's ult, we're going to pop his ult, and I'm hoping we can get, we're going to remove, we can actually remove them all. If you need help, know that after clearing that second wave, you don't need Hex up here anymore. So you can bring Hex down and put him in this position as well. You can also bring her and put her across. And this is just going to speed things up for you. But with some reasonable heals and a good solid tankiness on your Livian, shouldn't be a problem. Like, I'm healing for 20k. Pretty easy. The only thing is, of course, our Sylas keeps getting webbed. So if you want to speed that up, you can take your Hex out early and put the Hex in Alora's position. And then that should actually help you with 2 major DPS on the final boss. And that's going to end it. I think that's what I normally do. I didn't do it this time. But you're still going to get... You can even take Aspen down. Idril can stay, obviously. You can just turn everyone in towards it and bring them through. If you can, make sure you get their timings. Look at the champion. The things are coming down. You have 2 waves from the top, right? So now we have him. He can actually run across this way. If you don't feel like she's doing enough damage, you can like just bring all your DPS. As soon as he's unwebbed, we can pop Hex. We can pop him. We can pop Sargak. And now you're just going to see him melt. We're going to do that. And then we're going to pop that. And then we're going to pop that. That's going to give her those boost damages. And there you go. Completed. Probably pretty sloppy compared to how you'd normally do it. Obviously, I didn't hit my flow, but my fastest time. But pretty easy. I think, again, the key ones here, and let's just take a look at the champions. The key ones, of course, having that healer to extend across. And we'll take a look at the different heroes here. Let's get rid of everything but our fine faction. And, your DPS is your DPS. Your AoE, Calypso is who I actually used originally. She's got a skill set that's going to allow you to hit one enemy, but then has some speed. And that speed can help you in Hex's spot. Or probably, probably in Nyx's spot. Obviously, Razak is going to be the other one that's going to be in that. He does 100% AoE to multiple targets. I believe is it 4? So it's a little bit tough, but you can also just time his ultimate, and he's going to be able to hit a pretty wide range to kill those exploding ones. So he's good for the AoE area. For tanks, I think you're pretty much with Livian as a tank on that bottom. She is so good, though, you wouldn't want to look anywhere else. I have not tried Lily, and I probably should. In fact, I'm surprised I don't even have a built Lily. Why don't I have a built Lily? I probably should try Lily. I haven't yet. I'm sure her heals will be able to work just as well. She should get that extra, because of the piercer. So I believe is she based on HP on her healing? No, it's attack based healing. Prevents incoming fatal damage. She'd probably actually be better than, oddly enough, than the Sunday. But healing's healing. Just make sure you keep them alive. Obviously, you can use Lunaria for the Lord. We only put Araka down for that final extra damage to be able to take the boss down quicker. So it's really just about the bonus. And obviously, once the third Lord shows up, Eliza, I think that just gives you even more options, and she's probably usable to put down as well. Maybe even in that top spot, because you can put her down while she's invisible, then lift her before she gets webbed, and then put her back down for even more damage. That might be a thought as well to assist on that bottom row. Other than that, I don't see a whole lot. Vargas, yeah, you could use Vargas. Vargas is a good damage dealer. It's going to be a single target, right? So again, this would be for the single target aspect of it. I think the hardest part is making sure you're killing those little exploding bomb that spawn in the very center. And so as long as you have a way of dealing with that, and the most obvious ones are Nick and Razak, but I would not discount using someone like Sargak, and with his speed, he should be able to take them out just because he can damage so quickly with his ultimate, and he's not getting heals up in that corner, so he should be pretty fast with his passive. So just kind of thoughts there. Obviously, the two biggest DPS, Hex and Silas, just put them down. Alora can sit in that spot. Calypso can sit in that spot. Even the almighty Kai, Brienne, Esma, Idril, obviously you saw we use her. Theowen will be really good for. He's another one. He's an AoE. He doesn't have. Well, sorry, he's not an AoE, but he's got that slow, and that spinning blade might be able to help you on timings to help deal some damage on those ones that come down. So if you had to put him in Nyx's spot, I wouldn't feel too comfortable there, but that is a possibility. Brienne is a possibility for the AoE, even though she's a single target. She does have the passive, which does every 6 seconds the next arrow splits. So this is something that's possible. I haven't tried it, but definitely. And even Esma, who does have an AoE on her passive as well. AoE damage up to 5 targets. So she's gonna put some poison down. She's got a 50% chance of bouncing to 1 extra target, 30% chance of inflicting poison on the target. So that's going to allow even more bounces and more stuff here. So that's a thought as well. I wish I could try it twice, but then I'd have to wait a whole nother week. So, all right, so let's take a look at the champions used. Let's drop her down to the Piercer teams. You need a Lord to get that extra range. That's going to help you with the heals. That's going to help you with the AoE damage coming from the top. As far as the AoE damage, that's probably the hardest one. Nyx, Razak are the obvious choices. Esma's a possibility. Brienne's a possibility. I haven't tried them, so I wouldn't guarantee either of them. But in theory, because of the split shot and because of her bouncing shot with the poison, so long as they're fast enough to get enough triggers out, I think that should give you enough damage there. Kai, I've never used Kai. I mean, he can put 5 enemy units up there, so he puts his projectile, explosive impact. Arguably, this guy would actually be really good up there. I haven't tried it. I don't want to try it. Don't make me try it. So there's your options there. For DPS, it's quite obvious. Your top 3 are right here, but you do have other DPS options. You do have Allura, you do have Idril, you do have Calypso, you have Brienne, Esma. Again, both of them fine. Theowen can get the job done. Probably you could even use I don't even remember her name. You could probably use Tazira. I haven't, but I don't see why you couldn't. And same with Vargas, right? These are all just single target DPS. There's just a timing on those bosses, so make sure you're passing the attack percentage check. So you need enough attack to be able to do damage, and that's why Hex and Silas obviously are the number 1 choices for those spots, which is the top most facing to the right and the bottom most facing to the left. Keep in mind that third tile is a dead tile. That's where the spiderling will keep spiderwebbing them, and it's not in heal range how I currently set up the teams. So just keep that in mind. And then after you finish the second wave on the top, you can pull your DPS, bring your DPS to the bottom once the boss charges towards that bottom portal, and that'll give you your extra DPS that you need and set up, and just pull everyone off the field except for your tank, your healer, your DPS, and start facing everything in there until you beat the boss. Pretty easy, pretty straightforward. I don't think there's a whole lot of secrets. I would love to hear in the comments down below if any of you beat them with any other sort of strategies, especially with those bomb critters. Let me know how you dealt with them. I'd be really interested to know. I should also mention, though, I've never actually used Lily. She's on my list. I keep forgetting to build her out because she's really good for GVG. But Lily is also a great healer, and I suspect could do an absolute banger job the same way Nasande does. Why I chose Nasande? I don't know, but she looks cool, I think, is the number 1 reason. She looks really cool. She looks badass. Not going to lie to you. So there, she got to be my healer. But getting that extra range, of course, critical for the healing as well. So that Lord is probably the first check. Do you have a Lord? Yes. Good. It doesn't have to be the legendary. It can be epic or legendary. Perfect. Next step. Do you have the DPS checks, and do you have the AoE check to deal with the exploding critters? If you do, then it's just a matter of time and patience. That's it for this video. Pretty short and sweet, I hope. But if there's anything else, let me know in the comments down below. Otherwise, be kind, be safe, and we'll see you in the next video.